Hey Canucks fans, it's game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. Who you got? I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, June the 28th. Subscribe for Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup Finals, and then I want to talk about the Canucks goaltending because I think the goaltending is going to be a huge storyline in these finals. So we know it's the Montreal Canadiens, the underdog, the plucky Canadian squad, the team that I think they were 18th in the league in true points going into the playoffs. That's not even top 16, but they're the 18th team. But look, they're one of the two final teams left. They are taking on the favorite, the defending Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning, the team that, as many of you love to point out to me, $18 million over the regular season salary cap. It's such a David and Goliath scenario, truly. In Montreal, you got to say they're the underdogs. They have not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. In fact, they're the last Canadian team to do so, and they're really predicated on a great team game, especially at 5-on-5. And they have this, I've been talking about, they have this wonderful mix of young guys who don't know any better. The Cole Caulfields, the Nick Suzuki's, the Kokinamis of the world. Mix them with some veterans like Price, like Weber, like Perry, and then some middle-of-the-road guys like Brendan Gallagher. It makes for a really, really intriguing blend of players there. Then, on the Tampa Bay Lightning side, you have a powerhouse. Strong, deep throughout their entire lineup. You have a wealth of forwards, and it's crazy when you rattle them off. Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, Palat, Johnson, Killorn, just to name a few. Goudreau, Maroon. I almost named all 12 guys there, but I stopped because I actually forgot a couple. So really, really good players. And then on D, led by, of course, Victor Hedman, and then McDonough, Chernak, Sergachev, Ruda, and I know I'm missing one guy from that group. And then you have, of course, Andrei Vasilevskiy in net. Now, right off the bat, I will say, and then add in the whole storyline of Dominic Ducharme not even coaching the first two games of the series. But Montreal has shown that with Luke Richardson and Alex Burrows, they're fine. They ended up winning their semifinal against Vegas. I wouldn't say quite handily, but they did fine. So Ducharme's not going to hurt the team when he comes back, but certainly serves as some inspiration. But at the same time, they haven't needed him, or at least they haven't needed him physically on the bench. So who am I rooting for? Well, you guys know that after the Vancouver Canucks, and of course the Vancouver Canucks are my favorite team, then there's a significant drop-off. But my next three favorite teams are Winnipeg, Tampa, and Colorado in that order. So by nature of who my favorite teams are, you think I'm cheering for Tampa over Montreal. I'm going to say this. I'm not necessarily cheering for Tampa. If someone absolutely said to me, you have to pick a team to cheer for, I don't know why they would do that, but if I had to absolutely pick a team to cheer for, I would still cheer for Tampa. I've always liked Stamkos. I like Vasilevskiy. I like Hedman. I like Braden Point a lot. I heard Kucherov's a bit of not the nicest guy, but I heard that from a couple people. But overall, I really like that team, and I've liked them good and bad. However, I'm not necessarily rooting against Montreal. I like Carey Price. I vlogged about this last week. I like Carey Price. I like the fact that him and Shea Weber are from BC. The Alex Burrows story is obviously nice. Even the Tyler Toffoli, you want to see him succeed, just not to rub it in the face of Jim Benning. So I don't mind Montreal. I don't mind them. That's the best way to put it. So I'm not cheering against them. But if I had to pick a team, I would cheer. I would root for Tampa. But I would not be horribly upset if Montreal won. But at the same time, I don't cheer for Montreal just because they are a Canadian team. I don't cheer for a team just because of where they're located geographically. So all to say, I love Montreal's team game. It's a fascinating matchup of the two goalies, which I'll get to in a second, and the Tampa power play, vaunted power play versus the very strong Montreal penalty kill. But I'm going to say Tampa in 6. I don't think you should follow me if you especially for betting advice or whatever, considering how poorly I've done for this entire NHL playoffs. But in my heart of hearts, I just think Tampa's too strong. And if there's one team that could overwhelm Montreal, as disciplined as Montreal has been playing, I would say it is Tampa. So I'm going Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. We would love to know your comments below. Who you picking? How many games? And who's your Conn Smythe winner? So as I did in my confidence pool, I'll stick with Nikita Kucherov. By the way, if Tampa win and Kucherov is the Conn Smythe winner, I'll actually vault into second place. So that's also a reason why I'm rooting for that. But more importantly, I think it's gonna be Tampa in 6 with Nikita Kucherov as the Conn Smythe winner, as the playoff MVP. So Canucks fans and hockey fans, leave a comment below. Tell me who's gonna win. Tell me in how many games, and tell me who your Conn Smythe winner is. Now, let's talk about this goaltending matchup, and then let's tie it into the Vancouver Canucks, because I always like to try and do that. Carey Price, really tough regular season, outstanding in the playoffs. Vasilevskiy, likely the odds-on favorite to win the Vezina. It's going to be him or Marc-Andre Fleury. Best goaltender in the league, bar none, the last couple of years. Now, I heard Kevin Woodley on Sportsnet at 6:50 this morning, and he was saying two reasons why Carey Price is so much better in the playoffs. Number one is the team in front of them. Overall, they're really good at limiting shots to the outside, letting Price see everything, not doing goofy deflections off their own stick. So Carey Price, usually within a good goaltender, you see it, you should stop it. So, and he's been doing that. Number two, he's also been saying, it's kind of related, he also said in the regular season with new guys like Gustafsson and Edmondson and new guys on their blue line and the big, tall tree trunks, as Kevin Woodley said, they would often get in Carey Price's way, either shots going off them or, more importantly, making it hard for Price to see. Now in the playoffs, as they're more used to playing with each other and as they have developed better systems, they are getting out of the way at appropriate times and letting Price see the shot. So really fascinating. He was saying that Carey Price himself hasn't made like a ton of spectacular saves on his own. It's because his team is playing a lot better in front of him. He said the Tampa Bay Lightning were the opposite. In the regular season, they're kind of loosey-goosey, but they've really tightened it down in the playoffs to the same way that they did last year when they took out Dallas in the finals. A really tight defensive game, despite how offensively gifted Tampa is. So I'm going to love this matchup. Will goaltending steal this matchup? I'm not so sure, because I think the two teams are strong enough where you're not going to... It's hard for me to say that goaltending is going to be the difference, because the margin between Vasilevskiy and Price is so razor thin. Unless one of them poops the bed and the other one is amazingly outstanding, then maybe we can talk about goaltending being the difference. But you'd think that it would be a wash. The goaltending will be a wash. So then it becomes, how do the 18 skaters in front of the goalies play? And that's why I do give Tampa the edge in this series. But fascinating to see Vasilevskiy. I love the way he plays. And of course, you got to feel good for the hometown guy, Carey Price. So among many cool matchups that we're going to be seeing in this series, the goaltending one is the one that I think people are most in tune with. Lastly, let's tie this into the Vancouver Canucks now. Thatcher Demko, 5-year contract, $5 million a year. We're excited about that. Obviously, a key cog, an elite piece in goal going forward, the most important position of the team. What's going to happen with Braden Holtby? That's kind of fascinating, because you think that his contract makes it prohibitive for Seattle to take, i.e. 4.3 cap hit, 5.7 in cash. So that's a lot already. But there are thoughts around the league that maybe last year was a one-off, that he simply didn't have time to work in all the improvements that Ian Clark wanted Holtby to make in his game, and that Holtby, being such a good student of the game, with a proper training camp, with a proper exhibition schedule, will be able to acclimate to some of those changes and then be ready for the start of the regular season. And we saw some glimpses of that in April, May, before he kind of tailed off at the end of May, but the whole team did, or in the middle of May, the whole team did once those games didn't mean much. So can Holtby be an asset as a strong backup to Demko? Of course he can. Of course he can, especially if he refines his game. However, would Seattle take him as the one veteran that they need with maybe two young guys? Potentially. And I was thinking maybe his contract might scare Seattle away. But then you look at the other options that Seattle has to take for Vancouver, i.e. it's either going to be Highmore, Lynn, McEwen, or Gadjevich up front, or it's going to be Madison Bowie on the back end. Not a lot of, that's not the most appealing group of players to choose from. So maybe by process of elimination, Seattle does take Holtby despite his contract, and they either use that as a tradable asset somehow, maybe as it gets closer to the playoffs, trade Holtby to a playoff team. Well, Canucks could do that too, I guess, if they find themselves in the same situation. Or maybe Seattle uses Holtby as a true, the veteran goalie of the three that they'll go into the season with. So kind of fascinating. I was at first I thought, yeah, that made sense when the Canucks first signed Holtby last summer. But then I thought with Holtby's play, maybe Seattle won't take him. There's going to be other good goalies. But as I think about it a little bit more, given who else the Canucks will be not protecting, that maybe I'm slowly back on the Seattle may take Holtby train. So just something to think about, and Canucks fans would love your comment, your thoughts on that speculation as well. So in the comment section, tell me about the finals, who's going to win, how many games, and who's your MVP, and then also talk about the Braden Holtby situation. Would it make sense for them to take Holtby given his contract status, but his leadership, his ability, his pedigree, and the fact that he could be an experienced option for Seattle or even a trade asset for them going forward? Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Justin Credible, Nucks fan number 29, Lucas Gates, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Jamie Sports Talk and More, Shea Family Channel, and Shannon Hollingworth. Thanks for your support as always. And thanks to the support of all members of all levels, you are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos or on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. I have the day off today, so I'm going to go see the Da Vinci exhibit today that I talked about on my live stream, and I'll be tweeting and posting about that. And then tonight, Canucks After Dark, Parker and me, back to our regular time of 10 p.m. So subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Become a member of this channel if you'd like to. And leave a comment below. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless. And stay safe and stay hydrated. Go Canucks go.